All right. Okay. Let me see. All right, all right, all right. Let's see. I have to copy this. Hold on. All right. So we have a zone on the daily time frame. We're waiting to see the break of structure. Hold on. Okay. All right. So we're waiting to see a break of structure at this point. All right. We're waiting to see a break of structure at this point, basically. All right. So all right, AUD card. Oh, yes. That was the initial entry. All right, we can wait to see a break of that particular region. And then this will provide a re-entry. So first entry here. First entry from that tip up there. And then we can take a second entry once price completes this. Yeah, so that would be All right, welcome guys, welcome guys. All right, so that's basically, you want to see a break below this level, then a retest, and then we can take a trade all the way down here. Since I missed the initial entry, I've not analyzed any of this. All right, so all right, so this is where it gets tricky. Let's trace the market structure. The I price came from this low, broke above that I. All right, so now our range is, our trading range is between here and here. All right, this and this. Then we get a break, all right, which shifts our focus from here to here. All right, so this becomes our new trading range. All right, that's our new trading range. And then price breaks below this low, all right, making this our new I, meaning the moment price broke above this I, which is a swing I, all right, it was settled that price had come into a bullish structure, with this being the low of the range and then this being the high of the range. All right, now given the way things are at the moment, all right, we've just had a sweep of liquidity from here. All right, on AUD USD, we just had a sweep of liquidity from that point. Oh, I see. I see. It was the entry. This is the entry price came to peak down here. Yeah, that's the entry price came to peak from here. Meaning I already came a bit late. I already came a bit late. Hold on, I'm trying to attend to someone on my phone. All right, so that would be AUD USD. What just happened? Okay. So yeah, that would be AUD USD. All right, welcome guys. Thank you for joining. So that's AUD USD. Now, what this means is that this is in a bullish trend. All right, this is already in a bullish trend. So let's go to the 1 hour time frame. On the 1 hour time frame, we want to track the bearish trend. So AUD USD, let me see. Uh-oh, we've missed that entry too. All right, so I think what we'd have to do on AUD USD is wait for price to break this high. Then we'll reevaluate our options for an entry. All right, price takes liquidity from this high, then we'll reevaluate our options for an entry. The entry can then be either a continuation of the bullish trend or a drop, all right, that then brings price all the way back here. All right, so it's either price sweeps liquidity, comes this way and then continues bullish, or we get a sweep of liquidity, all right, then a retest and this way. So we just have a few minutes. We'll wait to see if AUD/USD is going to break that. It's going to break that high. All right. Provided it breaks this high, we'll just wait for a retest here, and then we take the entry right away. AUD/JPY. Let's go to daily time frame first. Interesting. So let's do a breakdown of the market structure on AUD/USD. So we have this low. All right, this high was broken, meaning this becomes our new trading range. All right, then this becomes the new low, the new high. So this is equal lows right here. All right, this describes that we're still kind of this describes that we're still in a bullish structure, kind of. All right. So this describes that we're still kind of in a bullish trend on the weekly time frame. All right, that was weekly time frame. So let's come to the daily time frame. Yes, daily time frame agrees with that bullish sentiment in the sense that we've even seen sweep and then the break. Meaning that price naturally should come take liquidity from this high. All right, since this is the bullish trend, all right, that we're expecting that price will continue. So I think price should take liquidity from that high. Nonetheless, let's look at where we are basically. Okay. And then we have on the daily time frame, let's see. USD CHF, okay. Let me see. I'd have loved to use all of these positions, but they're a bit tricky. So I think I'll just work with that. All right, so price has reacted from here, We're supposed to be bullish. Let me see. All right, AUD/JPY, I think this would be, that would be the area of interest. All right, or the POI, meaning we can then go to the lower time frame, maybe 1 hour or thereabouts. All right, and refine it. All right, so either of those two levels will be used as our entries, all right, because those are our key levels. All right, so it's either price reacts from here or the other one down there. So let me set an alert. All right, so that would be AUD JPY. Somebody said USD CHF. This was the major low, all right, and then price came to sweep that low from here. This became our new trading range, all right, and then price swept below this low, as you can see, swept below this low to give us this, all right, meaning that there is a huge chance that price is still bearish. Okay, so let's see. All right, so let's go and confirm if we have an entry yet. So it has even done the re-entry. For USD CHF is bearish, all right, but I'm not seeing any clean entries at the moment. I'm not seeing any clean entries at the moment because this would have been the entry for USD CHF sell. This would have been the entry, and you could easily target this point here. One could easily target this point here. All right. So that would have been my entry on USD CHF. But the trend is bearish on USD CHF. USD CHF is bearish. Which other one are you talking about us looking into? Which other one do you want us to look at? I think gold, I'm sure a lot of people will be interested in gold. This was a setup on gold. I think that was yesterday, no, Monday. All right, it was completed on Tuesday, but I'm going to have to rework it from scratch. All right, I'm going to have to rework it from scratch. We'll evaluate our levels once again. All right, so inside of this level, all right, is where price is currently trading. And for me, I think, let's go back to the daily time frame. You'll see that on the daily time frame, price has recently swept, or let me say broken structure. All right, price has broken structure here. All right, so the fact that price has broken structure here, all right, means that we're most likely in a bearish trend. All right, we're most likely in a bearish market. But what I would have preferred to see, I am not seeing it yet. In the sense that I would have loved to see or I would like to see a sweep. All right, I would like to see price complete a sweep. All right, such that we're able to sweep above this eye. That would have been my preferred confirmation, all right, that we see price complete that sweep. Do you guys get it? Does it make sense? Is it clear? So that's my sentiment on gold. Because as it stands, I don't think price has price has not touched that level. So I believe price is going to sweep liquidity from this low. All right, on the daily time frame, I believe price is going to sweep liquidity from this low so that it can come into this level to give a reaction. All right, to give a reaction. So yeah, that's why I'm bearish on gold. So either it happens after, just immediately after sweeping this liquidity, or it happens when price gets to this level. So what we will do is, once price takes liquidity from here, we'll check if it gives confirmation of an entry, all right, of a bearish entry. If it does, we take the sell, right? If it doesn't, then we simply come and wait for it up here, where we then believe that price is going to sweep liquidity from this eye first. All right, that will be the eye that we expect price to sweep liquidity from. When it sweeps liquidity from that eye, if it gives us entry confirmation, then we can take the trade. Do we get it? Does it make sense? So that's basically what we're aiming for. All right, that's basically what we're aiming for. We're trying to, because I would have said we should consider this as confirmation of a sell already, but I am doubtful of it, in the sense that, as you can see, there's liquidity still here. All right, there's still liquidity here. Okay, there's still liquidity here. So that is what I'm expecting. I want to see price take that liquidity. All right. So I want to see price take that liquidity, and then we can start to consider what next. Okay. So what other commodity should we look at? This is gold. I think I'm just going to set an alert for gold as well. Now, I'm going to show you guys something. All right. I'm just going to share something with you that, okay, GBPNZD. All right. These were setups on GBPNZD. Okay. Let me see. All right, so GBP NZD, the setup is not exactly clear yet. All right, but I think this is what I'll prefer, because this has just reacted already. So it's broken above the previous level. So we have a bullish sentiment right now based on the reaction from this level. But what I would prefer to see, because when you come to the daily time frame, you'd see that yes, this was the previous high that was broken. All right, this is the previous high that was broken. The momentum originated from this point here. This high was broken. This was the origin. All right, and you'll see that there was even a sweep of liquidity before this low was formed, meaning this is a protected low. All right, meaning this is a protected low. Is it true? Is the network bad for everyone? I believe some people can still get me clearly. It doesn't look like the network is that bad from here. So if you look at it, you'll see that this was a break of structure. All right, this is the protected low. All right, the fact that this is the protected low means that whatever price is going to do, all right, provided it hasn't broken below this low, all right, I think we're still safe. So this here now, all right, was just an avenue for price to sweep liquidity. And the only way we'll be able to confirm whether or not price is ready to continue bullish is what we are waiting for right now. We want to see price break above this zone, return for a retest, all right, and then that would be the confirmation. That would be a solid confirmation. Do you guys get it? So you can see that I've marked out a level around here. All right, I've marked out a level around here. So it's either we're able to get our buy from here, all right, from this entire region, or down here, depending on how tiny you want your stop loss to be. If you're a very conservative trader, you like sniper entries and tight stop losses, all right, you can do this as 2 different entries, set pending orders as 2 positions, all right. Otherwise, you can just take the whole thing as a single setup. All right, you can just take the whole thing as a single setup, and then we'll wait for about 1:3 thereabout. All right, so that's GBP NZD. God sent Sammy, can you see GBP NZD? Is it clear now? The general bias or the general sentiment on GBP NZD is bullish. All right, that's good. We already talked about gold. We have an alert on gold that I'm waiting to get triggered. All right, you can see gold is already behaving. Gold is already behaving the exact way I said it's most likely going to behave, because I have a targeted liquidity here that I need price to come and sweep. All right, there's a targeted liquidity up there that I need price to come and sweep. So once price sweeps that liquidity, it will make it easier for us to be able to get our bearish entry. All right, but at the moment, price on GBP on gold, all right, is still bullish. All right, according to my own sentiments, or based on my sentiments. Okay. Let me see. Maybe I should probably use a different color for the candlesticks because it's looking like all right. I think we should be able to work with this. Is it better now? Can you guys see it better now? Can everybody see it better now? Nedu FX, is it clearer now? The strategist. I know you are not expecting that I will know is you, but I know. Nedu FX, are you still here? It seems it's no longer here. It seems it's no longer here. All right, so that's basically the sentiment on gold. All right, that's the sentiment on gold. Such that if we get a break above this high, if price breaks above this high, all right, if price should break above that high, then hold on. If price should break above this high, then this becomes our protected low. All right, this becomes our protected low. And on that basis, we can anticipate all right, we can anticipate the break and retest in that manner. Do we get it? Does it make sense? Euro AUD might be cooking up an entry. All right, I'm simply waiting for price to possibly sweep liquidity either from here, all right, or all the way up here. So once I think price has tapped into liquidity here on the 1 hour time frame, so we'll be able to see if there's a reaction from that point. If we get a reaction from that point, it will be easy to find an entry. All right, so let's keep our fingers crossed. If we get a reaction from Euro AUD, we should be able to get an entry. So let's see how Euro AUD holds up. So far I think we have, do we do AUD card? Yes, I think we have AUD card. We have AUD JPY. AUD USD. Yeah, we're waiting for the breakout. No, Euro GBP is a different case. Euro JPY. Okay. I analyzed this before I came live. Before I came up for the live. This is that's the other block that formed the basis for the entry. All right, Euro JPY 15 minutes. Now the entry model I used here is not a high probability model, all right, but it works in the sense that if you look here, you would see price had just swept liquidity from this high. No, let me use a color that is going to be easy to see. Yeah, so price had just swept liquidity from this high. All right, then we get a confirmation that the low that this is 1 hour on Euro JPY. So we get a confirmation that here price has swept below the low that originated that that sweep, that engineered that sweep of liquidity. All right, so what we're trying to do now is trade the confirmation, all right, the retest. All right, so I think I'm using, let me see, it's a very low risk entry anyways, so I'm not risking a lot. I think, let me confirm. Yeah, it's about $19. Target profit is around 201. All right, so that's basically it. It's a 1:10. It's a 1:10 point something risk to reward trade. So like I said, if we're able to get a clean break below this low, the reason why I said this is not exactly high probability is because when you look at it, you see that there was no clean break. All right, all we have below this level, all right, below this key level, all we have are wicks. All right, price only form wicks. If there had been a full body break below this level, I would have had more confidence in my entry from here. All right, this entry would hold more weight. All right, if the candle, all right, if it had formed a full body candle to break this level. This is Euro JPY. Naomi, I think it's your network, all right, because other people are saying that they can see and hear me just fine. All right, Euro JPY 15 minutes. Do you guys get it? So the basis for me to have confirmed that this is a high probability setup, all right, would have been that a full body broke below this. Because right now that all I'm seeing are wicks, all right, it means that there is a strong level here. All right, it simply describes that level as a strong level, and it shows that price has been reacting from that level a couple of times. All right, at least we've seen price react from that level. This is 1, 2, 3, and 4. All right. But if it had been a full body break below that level, that would have been a perfect confirmation of our entry. Do we get it now? Does it make sense? Is it clear? So we're just going to stand by and see if price gives us a full break. All right, if price gives us a full break below this level that I've shown, all right, I'll just go break even. Once I break even, I'll know that the rest, whatever is left, is for me to just allow the market run at its own pace. That'll be the only thing remaining. I think we have 25 more minutes on the stream. All right, 25 more minutes before I have to run away. So yeah, that's 0 JPY 15 minutes time frame. Let me see GBP AUD. GBP AUD is almost at TP. It's almost at TP. I analyzed this two just before coming live. The basis, or let me say the criteria for entering the GBP AUD trade is simple. When you look here, you see that, or let me even start from the 4 hours time frame. You see that there's liquidity up here, all right? And not only is there liquidity up there, you'd also notice that we have a range here. All right, or let me say a zone. So when you come to the 1 hour time frame, you see that price has not yet broken that zone. All right, price has not yet broken that zone because this is the other block from that zone. All right, which is also a protected low. What makes it a protected low? We see a sweep of liquidity. We see a break of structure. All right, and that makes this a protected low. So when price reacted from this protected low, all right, we see that it gave this as the inducement, this as the proper high, all right, and then price comes into this other block. So for price coming into that other block, all I had to do, all right, was to just map the break of structure. All right, price came into this zone, reacted. So all I had to do for the first entry was, this is the low that gave us, that's the key level that gave us this initial sweep. All right. So when you see price broke above it, returned to this other block. All right. Then after that, we see that this was another break of structure. This was another break of structure. And then we had price, after breaking structure here, we had price returning to the other block. So this other block became the basis for my entry since I missed this initial entry. All right, so this other block became the basis for my entry. This is just about 1:5. And price is almost at TP. An added confirmation that I saw was based on the trend line. Let me see, was it on 30 minutes or what? Yeah, it was on 30 minutes. All right, there was a trend line confirmation that gave me additional confluence for this entry here. So the liquidity at this point here is my initial target. Overall target would be the liquidity at this point here. Do we understand what I just explained? What I just explained, does it make sense? Do you guys get it? Does it make sense? All right, thank you, Sammy. All right, beautiful. So generally, I'm going to explain the idea behind this. All right, I'm going to explain the idea behind this. So let's say I have a zone. All right, whether it's a demand zone or a supply zone, it doesn't matter. It's a zone. All right. Now, when price comes to that zone, it sweeps liquidity from that zone. All right. This is what ICT traders will call a Judas swing. All right, which means a swing that betrays the original level or the original sentiment. All right. So now that you've seen price break below, the level, the zone that you were targeting, you can use your line chart, all right, to come and mark the key level that was responsible for that liquidity sweep. All right, so you use your key level to measure whether there's been a change of character or a shift in market structure. Do we understand now? Such that what will determine whether I am going to start looking for buys is going to be whether price breaks above this level. Once I see that price has broken above this key level, all right, I don't necessarily need to wait for, some people use pin bars, use candlestick patterns for their entries. This is a lot easier, a lot better, a lot more accurate, in the sense that once price has broken that key level to the upside, all right, after sweeping liquidity from your order block or your demand zone or a supply or your demand zone, all right, all you have to do is wait for a retest. Since this key level was broken, you look for the zone, the order block. All you are concerned with is the order block that gave rise to this break. All right, where is the order block that gave us this break? Once you're able to find that order block, let's say this is the order block here. I'll wait for price to return to it, and then this becomes my entry. Because I know some of you, when you take trades, all right, some of you, when you take trades, you have your demand or supply. Price will tap your stop loss. And then after it has tapped your stop loss, you come back later to see that price has already actually moved in your direction. Sometimes even it goes far, far, far in your direction. All right. One of the ways to avoid things like this, all right, or one of the ways to recover if such a thing ever happens to you, is that you can come here, all right, on that time frame, use the line chart. All right, you come here, use the line chart, and then based on the line chart, okay, based on the line chart, you wait for price to sweep above the level, all right, the key level that gave us the liquidity that took you out, all right, the key level that took you out of your entry. Once we have cleared that, all we need to do is wait for the retest, and that will be your entry. 1:3, 1:5, you can get out. Alternatively, you can just target the nearest area of liquidity. But generally, 1:2.5, 1:3, you should be good. Do we get it? Can you see GBP AUD as it our final take profit? I believe you guys can see it. That's our take profit up there. GBP AUD has swept the liquidity from that high. All right, meaning we are clear on this particular trade. And if you look at it, you'll see what I mentioned just now about, you see that I had a stop loss here from this zone, all right, and this was price sweeping it. So the first entry that I should have gotten was here, but I didn't use the 5 minutes. So that was why when I used the 30 minutes, this became the first entry that I should have taken, all right, and then this was the second entry that I finally was able to take. Do you see that now? All right, you want me to go back to EJ? EJ is still on course. It's not, this is EJ. It doesn't have much volatility yet, but it's still playing around. Remember, I said this is not a high probability position. So if you're going to be taking this, use minimal risk. All right, let's go back to gold. Gold has not yet completed the break of structure, so I wouldn't trust any signal that gold is giving right now. But let me explain the buy sentiment on gold. If you're a demand and supply trader, you'd have marked this as a break of structure, marked this as your order block, all right, such that you'll be targeting this region. So you see that this was the sweep of liquidity, all right, and all I simply did was, where is the key level that gave us this sweep? This is it here. All right, this is it right here. So which is why you see me saying I'm waiting for price to break above that level, come back for a retest, all right, and then I can target 1:3, 1:5, but mostly just 1:3. For starters, to be safe, all right, you can just target 1:3. And you see that we have exactly close to 1:4, in fact, before the next zone. Chidera, is it clear now? We have just about 15 minutes left on the stream. All right, I'm going to be running once it's 3 p.m. So yeah, that's gold. All right, I think we talked about GBP/AUD too. Okay, no, GBP/AUD is where we're coming from. GBP card, yeah, this was a setup yesterday. This was a setup yesterday. As you can see, this was the nearest zone marked, and that was a 1:8 risk to reward. Sniper entry for that matter. But question, what was the basis for entering that trade? What was my basis for entering that trade? Simple. Smart money traders would say this was a previous high, right? They would have their order block here, and then you see that this was a sweep of the order block, all right? Meaning this is your Judas swing. So what do we do next? All I had to do was look for the last level, all right, that gave that sweep. So this was the sweep here. So let's come here. The last key level that gave that sweep, that was this. Such that as soon as price broke above that level, all right, this would have been your first entry. All right. Then when we come back again, this was the highest point that break got to. This being a key level on its own too. All right. Then when we come back to the candlestick chart, you see that this is the other block. All right. This is the other block, and price came into it, gave a reaction. And now we have swept liquidity from this previous high, and it seems we're heading into this other high here, all the way up here. Does this make sense, guys? Have you learned something? My people, have you learned something? All right, thank you, Sammy. I'm not sure I'll come back live again today, probably tomorrow. There's NFP tomorrow, so I might be trading my news trading strategy tomorrow. I should be trading my new strategy tomorrow. Straddle. Hopefully the NFP holds, and if not, we'll just revert back to analyzing like this. But I'll definitely be live tomorrow by God's grace, God's sparing our lives, and if all things being equal. But that's basically it. So we have G card, GPAUD hits TP already. Euro AUD. Can you see Euro AUD? Thank you, Jesus. Can you see Euro AUD has swept that liquidity? So what do we do now? This is 15 minutes. I already marked the key level that I want to see price break out from. That's the key level. Meaning Euro AUD, if we get a break, I can continue my sell. All right, if we get a break, I can easily continue my sell. Do you guys understand why we are waiting for Euro AUD for a sell? Does it make sense to you guys now? Does this Euro AUD setup make sense to you now? See, this was a previous low. All right, this was a previous low. And the momentum that gave us the break below that low came all the way from up here. All right. Now, if you look at it, smart money traders will say, oh, this is a supply order block. Right? SMC traders will say that's a supply order block. But when you look at it, you'll see that price reacted from the other block. All right, didn't sweep this low, didn't sweep liquidity from here before it came back to this point. All right, so it took stop loss of those who were trying to sell from this other block. It already took their stop loss. So what are we waiting for? We are now waiting to see the key level get broken. Once the key level is broken and price returns for a retest, bam, we're in. Does it make sense now? Sammy, does it make sense now? Do you get it now? Is it clear now? As you can see, it swept that stop loss. All right, you can see that it's beginning to start dropping now. It's beginning to drop gradually. Oh, no, Sammy, no. It's not an inverted head and shoulder, not at all, not at all. Not at all. Before you would consider this an inverted head and shoulder, all right, this is where the retest would be coming. Somewhere around here. Because it's either you say shoulder one, neckline, head, retest. Is either that, all right, or you say shoulder one, neckline, head, retest, which would have already completed the head and shoulder pattern. Do you get it now, Sammy? Gold has not yet completed that break. UJ, okay, it was USD CHF. Can you imagine? Did this guy take the Euro CHF trade? Oh no, USD CHF. I think I analyzed it as soon as I got here, talking about the fact that it already happened. Yeah, I think I talked about the fact that the setup already started. But nonetheless, the setup already started, but something is happening right now. Something just happened right now. This should be able to give us a re-entry on USD CHF. That should be able to give us a re-entry on USD CHF. Do we get that? Does it make sense? 5 more minutes to the end of the stream. Let's go to which other commodity was that we analyzed? I think AUD USD. AUD USD has not yet swept the liquidity comfortably, so I'm not interested. AUD NZD, we didn't do that. AUD JPY, yes, we analyzed it. No entry yet. AUD card. Remember what I said about AUD card being bearish? So this was my first entry. This was my first entry right here. No, this was the first entry on Monday. All right, that took out liquidity from this low. This was the second entry. All right, yesterday. That took out liquidity from this low, but it hasn't gotten to the point that I would like it to get to, which is at least here. So that's why I'm saying that there's a possibility of a third entry rather. Yeah, there's a possibility of a third entry, such that once we are able to break this level as well, I will look for a fourth entry. I'll look for entry number 4 once price breaks below this level. So yeah, AUD card, that's it. AUD card is doing its thing. Euro JPY was the main trade that we took this session. All right, because G card already played out. You can see that GBP AUD also already played out completely. So the major trade we took during this session was Euro JPY. And even though it's not moving too fast yet, I've already told you guys what to expect to be able to, before market begins to actually move. So once this zone can be broken, clearly broken, and we get a retest, that will be your confirmation to take that trade. All right, you can just look for the nearest demand or supply and then trade from there. I don't even have AUD on my list of commodities because it's not a commodity that I trade at all. AUD Okay. Interesting. So that's what gave us this first entry right here. Adetola, really interesting. So this, for me, this would have been my first entry for a sell. All right, if I use the 1 hour time frame entry, this would be my first entry for a sell. All right, let me see. Yeah, that's still pretty much the level to watch. But I think the moment price is able to break this level, that would be a good spot for re-entry. All right, once price is able to break this level, that would be a good point for a re-entry. So that's basically my sentiment. That's very correct. ADCHF is bearish. That's very, very correct. Yeah, that's correct. And the initial target is still quite far away. This will be the initial target at least. And then we just take it from there and see how it goes one step at a time. All right, it's past 3 p.m., my people. So basically, we're able to get Euro JPY. That's the main act for today's stream, or our Euro JPY sell. Hopefully tomorrow when I start my stream, if I remember, I'll show you guys the results from this Euro JPY trade. All right, but nonetheless, thank you so much, guys, for joining the stream. The name remains Adetola Freeman, and I'm your friend, your mentor. Not necessarily your mentor. I'm just a fun-loving, handsome guy. All right, so I'm hoping we're able to do this again tomorrow. So thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Let me see, what news is this? All right, that was 1 hour ago. All right, so thank you so much, everyone, for joining. See you again tomorrow. All right, see you again tomorrow. God bless you, and bye-bye.